The jury in Alec Baldwin's criminal trial has now seen the frantic aftermath on the set of Rust, where the film's cinematographer Helena Hutchins was fatally shot in October 2021.
It went through and through on her, through the chest.
This was an unspeakable tragedy, but Alec Baldwin committed no crime. He was an actor acting.
Baldwin, who faces a single count of involuntary manslaughter, listened intently during opening statements on Wednesday. His wife, Ilaria, brother Stephen, and sister Elizabeth all in the courtroom. And for the first time, the actor's defense argued even if Baldwin meant to fire the gun, he should not be found guilty.
Even if he intentionally pulled the trigger, that doesn't make him guilty of homicide. He did not know or have any reason to know that gun was loaded with a live bullet.
Still, they maintained the gun accidentally discharged, and Baldwin has repeatedly and publicly denied he pulled the trigger.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
The prosecution hoping to convince the jury he was negligent with the firearm during filming.
He cocks the hammer, points it straight at Miss Hutchins, and fires that gun.
But the defense outlining the crux of their case, that it was not Baldwin's job as an actor to ensure the gun was safe.
There were people responsible for ensuring the safety of the set and the firearm. Those people failed in their duties.
His lawyers playing a portion of a 911 call in which the caller faults the assistant director, Dave Hulls.
It's his f***ing ID. He's supposed to check the guns. He's responsible for what happened.
While one investigator testified multiple live rounds were found on set, the defense has worked to distance Baldwin from blame. Still, prosecutors insist the veteran actor did not follow industry standards.
He set safety rules, require actors like the defendant to treat every firearm as though it's loaded, to never point a firearm at another person.
So far, the proceedings have been somewhat testy at times when the jury is not in the courtroom. Baldwin, though, continued to appear engaged. He's taking notes, and at times he's turning to look at his wife, his brother, his sister. At this point, the jury has only heard testimony from first responding officers at the scene, but still a lot more to come in the next week or so. Savannah?
All right, Chloe, thank you. Let's turn to NBC's senior legal correspondent, Laura Jarrett, who's with us now. So, Laura, what do you take away from opening statements? Any surprises there?
I think the biggest surprise was now they're saying even if he didn't pull the trigger, even if he did pull the trigger, essentially opening the door to the fact that they know the prosecution has evidence that he did pull it. They have a witness, they may have video, they might have other evidence, and so they're sort of laying the groundwork for that with the jury.
The defenses.
The defenses. But for more than 2.5 years, he's been swearing up and down that he never pulled the trigger. He gave an interview to ABC right after saying he never pulled the trigger. And so I think there's some credibility issues there, that's what the prosecution wants to get out of it.
One of the things the prosecutor said was that the actor should treat the gun, every gun, like it's loaded.
Yes.
With a live round, I would assume. How is that going to land with the jury?
I think for some of the jurors, especially ones who have familiarity with guns, the idea that you don't point a gun at someone makes a lot of sense. Except on a movie set where you're an actor, where you have a shooting scene.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And so you heard the defense say, you've all seen, movies all the time with shooting scenes. And so if he's been told up and down by many people, the gun is cold, which means there is no live round, no dummy round even, you can understand that they're trying to invoke sympathy. What else was he supposed to do? But then not pointing a gun at someone is also, makes a lot of sense.
Laura, you maintain that this is going to be quite the uphill slog for the prosecution. Why is that? And did anything that you heard yesterday change that?
Because remember, the standard for involuntary manslaughter is not the highest. It doesn't require intent. But the best example I usually think about is something like texting while driving, right? You know that you're not supposed to do that. You know you have a chance that you could possibly kill someone. So even if you didn't set out to kill someone that day and you hit someone, that makes sense. Here, it's not the same thing. He was not the one who was supposed to check the gun. Everyone agrees that was the armorer's job, and the armorer has now been sentenced to prison for that. And so I continue to think it's just an uphill slog for them, but we'll see what the jurors think.
And then they're not supposed to have live ammunition on the set anywhere.
And we still don't know how did that live round get on set. They've never proven that, and certainly no one thinks Baldwin brought the live round to set.
Okay. Laura, thank you. We should mention you can hear a lot more about this case on the Dateline True Crime Weekly podcast. The latest episode is out today, wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.